a former special counsel.
Jack Smith came out swinging at the hearing over his decisions to bring charges against President Trump for allegedly conspiring to overturn the 2020 election and hoarding classified documents at Mar-a-Lago.
President Trump was charged because the evidence established that he willfully broke the law.
It was always about politics.
Committee Chairman Jim Jordan.
And to get President Trump, they were willing to do just about anything.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Overseas, President Trump says he had a good meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky in Davos, Switzerland. Zelensky says the two agreed on security guarantees. CBS's Linda Kenyon says Trump has put together a group that aims to maintain the Mideast ceasefire.
President Trump gathered world leaders from more than 20 countries in Davos as they signed the founding charter of his Board of Peace.
We are truly honored by your presence today.
The founding goal of the board is to oversee the reconstruction of Gaza. Several European nations have not signed on to the Board of Peace, including France. They've expressed concerns that the board might undermine the role of the United Nations.
About 180 million people are bracing for dangerous winter weather. It's expected to bring heavy snow and sub-zero temperatures from the nation's midsection to the northeast. CBS's Usher Qureshi is in Chicago.
Right now, the biggest focus is on getting ahead of the cold and the ice. We're seeing cities pre-treat roads and across the Midwest for snow and potential power issues. People are also doing their part. We've seen people bundling up in places like New York, stocking up at grocery stores, and trying to limit travel before conditions deteriorate.
A memo obtained by CBS News shows that ICE agents have been told they can force their way into suspects' homes without a judge's search warrant. And Minnesota officials are pushing back against claims that they're not cooperating with ICE. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino.
Compliance, they think, is optional. Compliance is not optional, not when law enforcement conducts. It's legal, lawful, ethical, and moral duties. It's not optional. There is no option there.
One for the record books in Hollywood.
No ghosts.
The film Sinners racking up 16 nominations. That's the most ever. It's up for Best Picture, and so is One Battle After Another.
Rise and shine.
Bat an eyelash.
Good morning.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 413 points. The S&P 500 is up 37 points, and the NASDAQ is up 234. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are following an officer-involved shooting out of Lacey this morning. We're going to bring you that in just a moment. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. And let's check the map. It's kind of as we would expect, except a little bit heavier than usual. Your north-south routes are showing pretty high volumes. I-5 northbound slowing starts from about Boeing Field all the way to downtown Seattle. It's very heavy. And then in the southbound direction, all the way to Shoreline. We're seeing a lot of spillover onto our alternate routes. I'm seeing some heaviness on 99 through downtown. Not as much on the West Seattle Bridge, but 509 and 99 are also congested. We got a little bit of slowing going westbound over the I-90 bridge from Bellevue to Seattle, only costing you a few minutes. Most of that slowing's on Mercer Island. And then, of course, 405 is a little bit tough through the S-curves, but only costing you about 5 minutes at this point. The other area of concern is through Canyon Park and Bothell on 405 southbound getting into Bellevue. But again, only a few minutes. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A barricade situation in Lacey ended with a deadly shootout last night. SWAT surrounded the area near College Street and 45th after reports of a suspect with a gun. Shots were fired between SWAT and the barricaded person. The suspect died at the scene. No officers were hurt. We now know why a veteran Tacoma police sergeant was terminated last summer. In an internal memo from TPD Chief Patricia Jackson, we learned Sergeant Shane Wimbles was terminated last June after an internal investigation found he had sent multiple nude pictures of himself to female department employees via their social media accounts. The investigation also found that Wimbles engaged in conduct unbecoming for submitting time cards with falsified signatures. Here's retired King County Sheriff John Urquhart.
When officers find out what their leaders are doing, it may be against the law that they shouldn't be doing, it certainly affects the morale.
TPD refused to comment for this story. You can read all about it at mynorthwest.com. A legislative move designed to keep immigration officers out of Washington even after they've left ICE. Democrat Tara Simmons of Bremerton introduced House Bill 2641 yesterday. It would ban any law enforcement agencies in Washington from hiring someone who was hired as a sworn officer of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on or after January 20th of 2025. Congratulations, you just survived the big dark.
This is the time of year where the sunrise is late and the sunset is early. And we have some good news. This coming Sunday, right after the Seahawks hopefully beat the Los Angeles Rams, we will have our first 5 p.m. sunset.
That's KIRO meteorologist Ted Beener. And let's check your full forecast. It is going to be a cloudy day, high of only 42, so very chilly. We're going to have fog to start Friday morning and then clearing to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon with a high of 46. It is a chilly 32 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Glad you can be here. Oh, everybody's here today. Hey, Ursula, you know I always be having those questions.
Yes.
You know, like would you rather type questions.
Uh-huh. Which we will be doing at 9:47.
No doubt. But I got this one for you.
Okay.
And you too, that's listening right now, you text in your answer. Would you rather start a job that, and by the way, pretend you like you're not working here. Start a job that is paying you $10,000 a month. Or start your own business, pay yourself minimum wage for 2 years with a 50% chance of selling your business for $10 million. What would you do?
Ooh. You know, I like to take a bit of a gamble.
Yeah?
I'll bet on myself.
What?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I say that now.
I was
Easy
not
to
ready
say.
for that, Ursula.
Yeah.
All right, what we got going on the show today?
Wait.
What would I do?
Yes, what would you do? Take the 10,000.
Take the 10,000. And by the way, it is subjective. I don't think there's not a wrong answer. It's just where you are in your mind, in your life.
Yeah.
And I would love to say and tell you I'm bold. I'm scared. I'm going to take the 10,000 a month.
I would be scared too, so it's easy for me to say, not as easy to actually do. Hey, as we count down to Sunday's showdown between the Hawks and the Rams, coming up at 9:30, you're going to meet a fan who has been all in since he was practically in diapers, thanks to one unforgettable gift.
Okay.
If you think you are the ultra Seahawk fan, tell us why. Text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
All right, let's get to it. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Okay, so we've been talking about the Seahawks hosting the Rams in the NFC Championship game on Sunday, but here's a twist that nobody's really talking about yet, G. In the future, Rams players or any players on an opposing team might have to pay Washington just to play here. Mm-hmm. So Governor Bob Ferguson's proposed income tax includes a provision aimed straight at visiting pro athletes. It's a so-called jock tax. Mm-hmm. And reporter Jerry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard was on Seattle's Morning News explaining it.
Folks may recall there's been legislation over the years to try to tax the income of some of the professional athletes that come from other states, especially those with some really large salaries. There is a section in this draft that would do that specifically, would target the visiting professional athletes, get a piece of their salary. It does not now, but I think it will in the end, have language for the college athletes and the income they make from the name, image, likeness, or better known as NIL, because some of those athletes are making millions of dollars through those agreements.
So let's just say a Rams player making $10 million a year, one game in Seattle could trigger about $58,000 in state taxes. Eventually, this could also affect touring musicians and big-time performers. Now, if passed, this would not start until 2029 at the earliest. And I have to emphasize if passed, because even that would be very iffy.
Well, you know how I feel about this. You got a lot of athletes, professional ball players coming into the state of Washington, playing the foosball and all the sports and contact, and not having to pay anything in state income tax. And when the Rams come up here to play, and they live down in California, they're like, yes, when we play in Seattle for the NFC Championship game, I don't have to pay any state income tax. By the way, this conversation of state income tax, and I know you guys are probably wondering, like, why is this? Because
it's
Florida to all of these states are reconsidering now this state income tax. So that took a long time for me to tell you, your boy's in for it. I'm saying yes. And one of the biggest proponents or opponents of this worry all say the same thing. But what if the wealthy residents want to leave?
You're not buying that.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. I'm not buying that. Let's pay up.
Okay. This is where I'm going to be different from you.
Okay. What you got? Uh-oh.
Okay, I just want to point out, Washington is one of only 7 states with zero income tax, right?
Yep.
State voters have already rejected income taxes 11 times since 1932. In fact, just a couple of years ago, voters passed an initiative that bans a state income tax outright. So even if lawmakers were to pass this, this would definitely face lawsuits. So first of all, that's why it's very, very iffy.
Okay.
But if this is really, and this is my message to Governor Ferguson.
Okay, let me hear your message.
If this really is just a tax on millionaires, then you need to prove it. That means you cut sales taxes, you cut property taxes, you lock that $1 million threshold.
When you say cut sales taxes, cut it to how much?
Well, enough to offset this new state income tax. Swap it versus now we're going to keep you with high property taxes. We have one of the highest sales taxes in the country. We have one of the highest gas taxes in the country. Lock that $1 million threshold into the Constitution and then require voter approval if you're ever going to expand it. Because I think until all those things happen, I think it's going to be voted down. And I think people are just hearing one thing: trust us now, pay later. Yeah, been there, done that. And I don't think you're going to have the trust. And that's not just one party. I think that's many people in the state of Washington. Okay, text us. Tell us if you agree.
I'm not even going to back to
Okay. I asked you if you have ever been in a situation where you didn't have health insurance.
Yeah.
And you shared with me that you have.
I have.
And I have a friend who just shared with me just last weekend that she is without health insurance right now. And in fact, tens of thousands of people in the state of Washington are now dropping their health insurance. And the early numbers are showing that it's already happening faster than expected. This is according to new data from the Washington Health Benefit Exchange. Enrollment for 2026 is already down by about 18,000 people compared to this time last year. 28,000 people actively canceled their coverage. That's a nearly 40% spike. And officials are expecting as many as 40,000 people statewide could end up without any insurance. And of course, why this is happening is that the pandemic era insurance subsidies expired and Republicans who control Congress didn't extend them. Democrats couldn't force a deal to save them. So the extra tax credits have vanished and those premiums have exploded.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm sure people listening right now can text us and say, yeah, I noticed that it's going to cost me this much more. The Seattle Times actually reports one of those people is a 63-year-old self-employed travel planner from Issaquah. His premium was set to jump from $218 a month to nearly $800, and he just said, can't do it. And state officials are warning that these numbers will likely fall further once the first bills go out.
Sometimes, Ursula, when we are talking about current day stuff, and then I know people get upset, but gee, you're always talking about the past. You and I don't know if you remember, we talked about this when we were talking about insurance premiums are going to rise.
Yes.
And there will be people that will say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do away with health insurance right now to maybe be able to catch up and maintain my standard of living because I can't afford the premium.
Man, that's just one catastrophe away from serious devastation.
Absolutely. Now, you ask me, have I ever been in a time in my life where I didn't have health insurance? And I told you, absolutely, number one. Number two, I didn't have health insurance or car insurance all at the same time. The one that I worried about the most every day was car insurance. That scared me more than everything, but I was younger then, right? So the whole health insurance was not a scare for me at that time. Now, I'm talking about this now, and yes, I have car insurance and I have health insurance now, but if I were to be without, I would be more nervous about not having health insurance, and this is a real thing that Americans are going to have to worry about. There will be grown people walking around that cannot afford health insurance, and I know people vote certain ways, but do people really not care about someone choosing to relinquish their health insurance so they can maintain? And
no, because you know what this ends up. If you don't care, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if you don't care, you're not realizing that this affects everybody. The more people who are going uninsured means more people are ending up in hospital ERs without any insurance. They're using them as primary care. There are unpaid bills. Well, how do you make up for those unpaid bills? You got to raise the prices. I mean, if you look at a breakdown of when you do go to the doctor and see how much, if you didn't have insurance, how much you would be paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
It's astronomical.
But I'm confused. Here's what I'm confused about. I'm confused on one day, Ursula, in your top stories, you're talking about the homelessness crisis, and you're talking about people becoming homeless. We're talking about encampments. You're talking about everything that you see downtown that some don't like, some demonize. And then on the other hand, we're talking about insurance premiums raising, and we're talking about people who are choosing maybe not to have health insurance because they can't afford the premium.
Yeah.
And like you just said, are one catastrophe away, one medical emergency away from losing everything.
All of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're also choosing not to go to the doctor for fear of the bill. And then if you have something and it just gets that much worse, to try to treat it when it's so much further down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to any medical provider. They're seeing this over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion, is that it is shameful that members of Congress, and I'm talking about both parties, were not able to come up with a deal. Like, we needed to have something worked out. We also cannot just have concepts of a plan. We needed to have something worked out. You knew this was coming.
When
and
you say
it's still happening.
Time out. Hold on. Are we blaming this whole thing, insurance premiums and stuff? Are we blaming this on both parties? Is this a both parties thing?
I am. You may not, but I am.
But because they couldn't come up with a compromise? There was clearly an agenda by the Republican Party, the GOP, to
and I
actually
said Republican-controlled Congress. Yeah. So I think the more of the blame comes to them, but
I'm sorry.
Work it out.
There's no way that this is a both sides thing. It was clear from the very beginning that they did not want Obamacare. They did not want any of that. They wanted to do away with that.
And
my man said he had concepts of a health care plan.
Mm-hmm.
And no, this ain't both. Okay, we can agree to disagree. This is a Republican thing. This is the party that wanted this right here. And the reason for these insurance premium raising. As a matter of fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene literally went out on a limb and blamed her party for exactly this.
Now, some Washington lawmakers want to draw a hard line between local police and federal immigration enforcement. There is a new bill that has been introduced in Olympia that would ban any state law enforcement agency from hiring former ICE agents who were sworn in after January 20th of 2025. The bill's sponsor is Democrat Tara Simmons, who argues that ICE agents trained during the Trump era use aggressive and sometimes violent tactics, including breaking car windows, detaining people without cause, even targeting legal residents and U.S. citizens. And she says Washington needs more police officers, not fewer, but she says we need officers who build trust and not fear. So if this were to pass, this ban would take effect on October 1st of this year.
Yeah, I disagree with that. 100% disagree with that. Again, this is one of those things where you guys have heard the advertisements. You guys have heard them get the bonuses for $50,000 to join ICE. And by the way, when you talk about the big, beautiful bill, there were things that were active right away, and that was enforcement and money for ICE. But again, we could talk about that health insurance thing at another time. But in this case, I disagree. I just told the story off the air. My daughter had a coworker, and that coworker was like, hey, they were enticed to go work for ICE and try to get the $50,000 bonus working for ICE. It was going to be good for he and his family. His wife said, oh, no, if you go work for ICE, we're done. He had already left the job. Well, he tried to come back to his job. They said no, they were not hiring him again. But I'll say this, Ursula, if you work for ICE and you want to come back and work for law enforcement, I don't think that there should be a bill denying you from doing that.
Yeah, I think you need to judge people by their own conduct and record, not the logo on their old badge. I think this would set a dangerous precedent, and I also think it would invite lawsuits. Gee, I don't know if you've seen this story, but somewhere in Boston last weekend, podcaster Bill Simmons accidentally handed the Seahawks a little extra playoff fuel because it was on his podcast on Sunday night that he said that Seattle has never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, New England Rams, which was a lousy Super Bowl. Seattle, New England, one of the best.
Maybe Seattle, New England's the best one because Seattle's never won a Super Bowl.
You can't go wrong
And
there.
they would be getting the revenge on that.
Now, apparently he forgot something. The Seahawks destroyed Peyton Manning's Broncos in Super Bowl 48. And as you can imagine, Hawks fans immediately lit him up. And 2 days later, he did apologize. And Nick, I need you to bleep out, I've decided I want to bleep out one word.
I made a horrible error in Sunday's podcast. I just want to talk it out. I feel like I've been in a really good spot with the Seattle sports fan bases. Sunday night doing a live pod on Netflix. A lot of stuff coming up Bears, Rams, head spinning all these different directions. And we're talking about Super Bowl matchups. And I say the Seahawks never won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Now, you could say I'm old. I would go with brain fart because obviously I know the Seahawks won a Super Bowl. I was writing for Grantland at the time. I was doing podcasts and writing about that Super Bowl year. I thoroughly enjoyed watching them kick Peyton Manning's ass. And if I had thought about it for a split second, I would have remembered they won. But I think I brain farted and mixed them up with the Mariners. So I'm here to ask for forgiveness.
Are we good with him?
Yeah. Paul's a producer on The Reset, my podcast.
Yeah.
And I mess up all the time.
I was going to say, I told you, this was the most relatable apology. I totally get it.
I mess up all the time. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you guys a mess up that I did one time. And this wasn't even on a podcast. This was me emceeing and doing. You guys know our right tackle, Abe Lucas. You guys know who that is, right? Well, I was doing some intros at an event, for a Seahawks event. I didn't even catch it. I introduced him as Abe Lincoln.
Why did I know that was coming?
I was thinking George Lucas, Star Wars.
Abe Lincoln. So, yeah, it happens. Okay, 9:47, would you rather? But up next, you got to stick around for this. Luke Ducey has a story, an amazing story of a Seattle super fan, a Seahawks super fan. Wait till you hear about when this person got their season tickets. We'll do that next. Gee and Ursula.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host Hack.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Nearing retirement? Do you know what retirement will cost you? John Curley here from Madrona Financial. Retirement isn't just about income. It's about avoiding big mistakes and blind spots that hurt so many. Taxes, healthcare, inflation. Even with reasonable growth, those 3 alone can wreck your retirement if ignored. Gain knowledge on how to turn your money into a system that supports you when times are good or bad. Join Matt Beyer and Madrona Financial and CPAs for a free virtual retirement planning workshop Tuesday, the 27th of January at 6:30 p.m. Attend from the comfort of your own home. Bring your spouse, too. You'll learn what a complete retirement plan looks like, not just a portfolio. Just call right now to RSVP, and they'll email you the Zoom link. Again, Tuesday, the 27th, 6:30 p.m., online via Zoom. To RSVP, call 833-673-7373 or sign up online at madronafinancial.com/events. It's free, but you'll need to RSVP. Call 833-673-7373.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
For over 50 years, they've spread a message of brotherhood and harmony through multi-platinum funk. The original street band, War. Live at Jazz Alley, January 29th through February 1st. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. The verdict came in last night. Not guilty for former Uvalde, Texas school police officer Adrian Gonzalez. He was the first officer to get to the elementary school as a former student killed 19 children and 2 teachers. Details from CBS's Omar Villafranca outside the courthouse.
Outside the courthouse, families of the 19 fourth grade students and 2 teachers who died that day responded with sadness and anger.
There was 2 monsters on May 24th, and one was a shooter and the other was a monster that never went in.
And what Texas just told us is that our kids didn't mean anything to them.
Prosecutors argued that Gonzalez did not act quickly enough to try to protect children and their teachers. Former Special Prosecutor Jack Smith is testifying before the Republican-led House Oversight Committee today after his decision to charge President Donald Trump twice. CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes.
Former Special Counsel Jack Smith and California Republican Representative Kevin Kiley, who questioned Smith's methods.
Do you believe that you made any mistakes? Do you have any regrets as to how you conducted this investigation?
We followed the facts and the law. These people who worked for me sacrificed endlessly and have endured way too much.
Smith says if he were asked whether to prosecute a former president based on the same facts today, he would do so. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
A bill in Washington state to restrict weapons in certain public spaces has cleared the state's Senate. Sponsored by Seattle Democrat Javier Valdez, it would ban weapons in places where children and families gather. That includes playgrounds, sports fields, and community centers. The bill also adds restrictions in some public buildings and requires posted warning signs. The legislation now moves to the House. It happened again, and we always ask, did you feel it? A small 3.0 magnitude earthquake registered close to Duval in northeast King County this morning. Now we'll check your traffic as we do in every newscast, and we are still looking pretty reasonable for this time of day. There's some slowing where you would expect it. I-5 northbound from about Boeing Field into downtown Seattle. We do have a collision northbound direction in right about Pike Street, so watch out for that. There's looks like a growing backup there. I-5 southbound backup is all the way from Shoreline at this point. Lake bridges are looking fairly clear. There's a little bit of a snag over Mercer Island on I-90 westbound, and we have a little bit of slowing on the S-curves on 405 northbound and a little bit through Bellevue at the I-90 interchange, as well as getting out of Bothell, but it's only going to cost you a few minutes at this point. This report brought to you by the KIRO News Radio app. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. We are going to be cloudy today with a high of only a 42. Tomorrow starting foggy and some sun in the afternoon. 32 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show with the NFC Championship just days away. Our reporter Luke Ducey's been talking to some of the Seahawks' most loyal fans, you know, the kind who never miss a game, never lose the faith, and bleed blue and green. And he found one guy whose fandom actually started maybe even before he could talk, Luke.
It's unbelievable. Who knew? He is the youngest season ticket holder in Seahawks history. I met him yesterday, talked with him. His name is David Israel. He's a Super 12. His dad bought season tickets way back in 1976 and then put them in David's name.
My dad bought the tickets, I think it was July 28th, 1976. I was just about 3 years old.
Yeah, 3 years old. And so he's been to so many great games. He was right there in 2013 when Richard Sherman tipped Colin Kaepernick's pass to Malcolm Smith to win that NFC Championship.
Kaepernick in
zone. Crabtree.
That play was absolutely amazing. That's one of the top plays ever.
Broken up, picked off. This game is over.
I'm not trying to claim that I'm clairvoyant or anything, but I kind of saw it happening before it happened. But I knew that. I just knew in my heart of hearts that wasn't exactly what happened was going to happen.
So he's a super fan, but that right there kind of freaked me out when I started talking with him, predicting outcomes before they happen. He predicted who we would lose the 2006 Super Bowl. He had a bad feeling going into that stadium. And for this Sunday's game, I was scared to ask, but I had to ask. He's shaky about the quarterback situation for the Hawks.
I can't fully put my stock into Darnold yet. He's either on or he's not.
But he also said, you know what? It doesn't matter probably because defense wins championships.
As long as our offense stays strong, I don't think anyone can touch our defense. I really don't.
So we're talking about a guy who was the one-time president of the Seahawks fan club. He has also collected a lot of crazy memorabilia over the years. We can talk about that. He's got superstitions, but his prediction, our defense has got to come through, and our 12s have got to come through this Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so you said memorabilia.
Yeah.
Like, does he have anything that's of particular interest?
You want to hear about it? This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. I mean, maybe a lot of you have a lot of collection items. Like Weehawk is one. I think a lot of longtime fans they try to get their hands on. He's got 2 of them, and he's got a lot more.
I have a little model of the Kingdom, the little dancing man who sings the Monday Night Football song. I still have a bottle that the front office gave me when we won that championship game, a bottle of champagne engraved. I got a 12 neon sign in the living room. I got my Seahawk cuckoo clock.
a Seahawk cuckoo clock.
It's almost like G. G has the most Seahawks-related fits of anyone I know.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Now, it's interesting. First of all, that was great hearing from David Israel. But, I have to make sure I commented on his nervousness of the quarterback. Like, do you know how many quarterbacks in the history of the game have won 14 games back-to-back like Sam Darnold has done? You know how many quarterbacks in Seahawks history have won 14 games for the Seattle Seahawks? Only one. His name's Sam Darnold. It goes to show you that even with facts, in a way, feelings take over. This guy right here, will he be at the NFC Championship game?
Oh, he'll be there.
He'll be there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He doesn't miss a game. Well, and you know what I'm really curious about too is you come decked out like all the time. You're a super fan as well, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
As far as your
I'm a super fan.
Your repertoire,
super
your
fan.
clothing. What are you going to be wearing game day? Have you picked out what your ensemble? Are you gonna
Because you have a lot of eyes on you, G.
Yeah,
I do got my game day fit picked out, and it's interesting because Paul, can you look it up? Because I just saw who their halftime performer is, and I think it's a country singer. It seems to be. And it's interesting because before I even knew, it came out yesterday, like Wetmore or something like that. His name is?
Yeah, it's Tucker Wetmore.
Yep, Tucker Wetmore. So, Luke, before I found out who the halftime performer was going to be.
You're scaring me now.
I had already had my Seahawks, and I was going to have more of a country style look.
You got the cowboy hat?
Well, I don't want to do that because I'm hoping that JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, wears his black cowboy hat. I asked him about it on the show, and he told everybody that we have to wait and see. But I am going to have more of a, I'm in the landman. It's a landman thing.
You're not going to wear tassels and stuff like that, are you?
Wait. Yeah. No, it's going to be inspired by landman. But I just want to go back to what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, you are coordinating even with players as to what your fit is?
Well, no. Well, JSN, when he's on my show,
yeah,
I said because a lot of fans want him to wear a black cowboy hat. Because back to the superstition, the Seahawks do really well when he wears the black cowboy hat.
Oh, I hope he does then.
So he says you'll have to wait and see. So Jack spends a lot of time with his pregame. No, he doesn't. But yes.
He looks like he does.
Now, how about you, Luke? Do you know what you're wearing?
Ooh,
That's right. I forgot. reporters and journalists, they don't wear the Seahawks stuff.
I will.
Even though inside they're just.
I will tomorrow. I'm not working the game, so I'll be at home, and I wear all Seahawks stuff, and I lay everything out on a. I'm crazy. I lay everything out on a bed or the sofa or whatever, and then I have to switch as if we're not doing well because it's up to me whether or not we win, of course. So I have to switch up the combinations. David Israel also has he's got an item that he wears, call it a superstition, I guess, that none of us are ever going to get our hands on.
Every game I go to, I wear my same jersey, my 12 jersey with my name on it, and this really cool neon green sweatshirt that was actually given to Dave Chappelle by Marshawn Lynch, and Chappelle didn't want it, so he gave it to me. So
back in the day, he was
a flex.
I know, right?
Wow,
that's a cold flex, right?
So I
there.
asked him, "Well, how'd you get your hands on that?" And he was a manager of a club way back in the day, and he met Chappelle there, and he gave him the.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. Well, I understand. So, Gee sent out a tweet that was sent out by the Issaquah Police Department that the chief has now approved Seahawks hats for patrol and corrections officers and Seahawks shirts or polos for all other city staff.
Oh, okay, full stop. Are you okay with that, Luke? Everybody listening, are you okay with law enforcement being able to wear Seahawk hats and Seahawk T-shirts?
Man, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay, slippery slope. Slippery slope. That's all I'm saying.
Sports team versus like political hats.
Somebody can get pulled over and be offended by a Seahawk hat and shirt.
Are we getting...
Imagine getting arrested.
Okay.
You'll never forget about that day of your life. What the cop look like? He was wearing a Seahawks shirt. Hey, why don't you like the Seahawks, sir? Because I was arrested by a man wearing Seahawks stuff.
Text us. Is this a slippery slope? 888. Do you think it is?
Yes, I do. No. Okay, I'm being serious.
So you're not down with the Issaquah Police Department wearing...
Well, first of all, I bet you this chief is a nice guy. Issaquah, shout out to you. This is not a shot at you at all, okay? But I disagree with doing it because I truly believe it is a slippery slope. One day you do this, what if the next chief one day wants to allow this and or that? You know what I'm saying, Ursula? You just never know.
Are you gonna wear fringe and tassels like Western wear?
Hey man,
on Sunday.
I'm hoping for some spurs.
you gonna wear spurs?
Hey, you gotta wait and see.
Get that 10-gallon hat ready.
Landman inspired.
Gotta have that cowboy boots. Thanks, Luke. Hey, coming up next, we have a round and edition of Would You Rather? Gee and Ursula.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
I really had a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
If you are in the middle of your career, you are juggling a lot right now. Probably kids, parents, work, savings, and a future that suddenly feels a lot closer than it used to. And this is where Trajan Wealth can come in. Their advisors are fiduciaries, meaning they're obligated to put your interests first. They're not tied to any specific products. They're not working on commission. Mark and I met with Marty at Trajan Wealth recently, and it's clear that she really knows her stuff. She helped us see where we are financially today, what we're doing right, what actually needs more of our attention. And we left that meeting feeling a lot more confident. We were not overwhelmed. She really laid out a great plan. Trajan Wealth is veteran owned, and it is built for people who want clarity without pressure. Trajan is spelled Trajan. Call them today for a free consultation at 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300, or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
If you've saved more than $300,000, you may have a big problem in retirement, and it's taxes. taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, taxes on your Social Security benefits, taxes on your investment income, and more. And when you add it all up, this could be your largest expense in retirement. That's why it's critical you get in front of this now. Hi, it's Charlie Harger. Discover the strategies that could significantly reduce your taxes in retirement with a free, customized retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, who has 2 locations in Seattle. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350. Don't overpay your taxes to the government. Call 206-210-1350.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No statement contained herein should constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
If you've been injured in a car accident, you have 2 choices. Handle everything yourself or hire an experienced attorney. Go it alone, and you'll be on the phone with insurance adjusters, chasing medical records, fighting for lost wages, and trying to figure out what your case is really worth. Hire the right attorney, and they take all that off your plate so you can focus on getting better. Harold Carr Law Offices has a dedicated team of 48 people and more than 35 years of experience handling car accident cases right here in our community. Harold Carr Law Offices handles big cases and small ones while still treating their clients like family. Here's the difference they make. They save you time, reduce your stress, and get you significantly more money than you'd ever get on your own. Harold Carr Law Offices fights for you at no out-of-pocket cost to you. If you're in a car accident, call them right away. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill, but that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on, and so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be, for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Appreciate all of you guys for being here. It's now time. You got to pull it up, Ursula, that old Would You Rather sounder, because I don't have that good old news boss open. That's all right. We can just get it going right now. Let's get to it. Would you rather? All right. Since the Seahawks, and some people say that they are getting tired of hearing about Seahawks. That's interesting because everybody's talking about it. Would you rather your team go 17-0 and lose the Super Bowl, or go 9-8 and win the Super Bowl?
Oh my gosh, the latter for sure. 9-8, but win the Super Bowl is it. Are you kidding me?
I agree.
Who cares about your 17-0 record if you can't win the Super Bowl?
Exactly. Would you rather your team be boring but dominant, kind of like the San Antonio Spurs back in the day, or electric every week but stress you out until Monday?
Okay, I know what should be the answer, but I do get bored. So I would say I want it to be electrifying, stress me out. I kind of like living on the edge a little bit, but ultimately I want them to win.
So this past Saturday, we all could say that was, the Seahawks dominated.
I didn't start relaxing, though, until well into the third quarter.
Oh, same.
Right?
Same.
Because
but are you okay with a game like that as long as
at that juncture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yes, exactly. And the playoffs make it boring as heck.
Yeah. Paul, what would you rather on that one? Boring and dominant or electric every week?
See, dominant means winning. And I believe a wise wide receiver told us this week that winning is the number one thing. So boring might be the easy case if it ends up in championships. But it is more enjoyable to watch an electric team. But as a person that's watched a lot of bad baseball over the last couple of years, I'd like to see a dominant team. Give me the dominant, boring team.
But by the way, that whole would you rather right there can be applied to relationships too. Because some people would rather have electric.
Yeah. But
you know what I mean? Instead of boring and dominant, dominant relationship.
Yeah. On the relationship part, I will take steady, slow and steady.
Steady and easy.
I'm good.
Okay. Would you rather win on a last-second field goal or blow them out by 30? Well, that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, here's another one. Would you rather your rival miss the playoffs every year or beat your rival twice but miss the playoffs yourself?
Oh, no. We can't miss the playoffs. Then again, that goes back to it doesn't matter that you beat your rivals. Well, and I don't get into the whole rival thing. I don't even get that into Apple Cup, the whole rivalry.
So
I want to win against all the best teams.
It's interesting, right? So the Ohio State last season, they won the national championship, but they lost to their rival again. And even after the national championship win, people kept saying, like Buckeye fans was like, yeah, this is great, but you still lost to your rival. Like there was a but the entire time. Now this season, they beat their rival.
Yeah.
But did not win a national championship.
Yeah. So which one
exactly. At the end of the day, you want the goal at the end.
Right.
So what you got, Paul?
Wouldn't you call Ohio State one of the exceptions? I mean, how many rivalries are on that level where people are even saying, hey, they can win the national championship, but the coach is still going to be under fire because he hasn't beaten Michigan? I mean,
exactly.
I think give me the championship. I don't care about. I mean, we know regular season. Who cares? It's like the Chiefs are a prime example. The Broncos can beat the Chiefs during the regular season all they want, but if you run into Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs and he beats you there, who cares?
All right, Ursula. Now, I like this question because first it's going to be an easy one, but it's actually the question that's actually being talked about around the country. Would you rather have a wide receiver who talks a little reckless, maybe does commercials in a different way, but he is absolutely dominant on the field? I mean, dominant. Or would you rather have a wide receiver that's quiet, it's a quiet leader, does what he's supposed to do, very good, never complains?
As a coach, I would rather have the latter. As someone in media who, likes to hear interesting comments after the game, or even sometimes during the game, I would say the former. But ultimately, as a fan, I would want that quiet leadership.
So this is the topic of
JSN
and Puka Nacua.
Oh.
The Rams have Puka Nacua, right? And so right now, they're one of the candidates. Those two are candidates for the NFL Honors Offensive Player of the Year. And so some are saying, yeah, we'll take Puka Nacua. Rams fans are saying that. And, of course, we Seahawks fans are like, you guys can have Puka. We'll take the quiet leader.
Well, I was going to say, we've already gone through that with DK Metcalf, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a
I said that.
There was
Protecting you guys.
I'll agree with you, Nick. There was a time when he was my favorite player. Remember that?
That's
DK.
right.
Yeah, that quickly changed.
He was your favorite.
Yes. Yeah, no.
Did that hurt?
Well, it just was disappointing because you know that he's not playing to his potential.
Yeah. I forgot all about that. That was your favorite player. Okay. We got a lot happening the rest of the show. At 11 o'clock, we're going to bring in someone. You guys remember this person, too. They have a new Seahawk anthem. And I know some of you are tired of Seahawks, but that'll be at 11 o'clock. But up next, a Tacoma police sergeant fired. And wait till you find out why. James Lynch has a story on that. We'll do it next. Gee and Ursula.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Cold is leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster at a higher price and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our clearance savings spectacular, and you don't want to miss it. We're slashing prices on all 2025 hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models ready for delivery. And here's the best part, 0% interest financing through 2031. That's right, no interest for 5 years. Ends January 25th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host PAC.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
For over 50 years, they've spread a message of brotherhood and harmony through multi-platinum funk. The original street band, War. Live at Jazz Alley, January 29th through February 1st. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. House Republicans press former special counsel Jack Smith on his Trump investigations into the 2020 election and classified documents.
Former special counsel Jack Smith told lawmakers,
I want to be clear. I stand by my decisions as special counsel, including the decision to bring charges against President Trump.
But House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan says,
we should never forget what took place, what they did to the guy, we the people, elected president twice.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
To the extent that this investigation was conducted within the letter of the law, to the extent that the case was brought and there's no evidence of prosecutorial misconduct or selective prosecution, I think that it's extremely unlikely that there would be any legal consequence.
Well, President Trump has wrapped up his Switzerland trip, finalizing his Board of Peace. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The stated goal of the board is to oversee reconstruction of what the president calls New Gaza. But first, he said Hamas must give up its weapons, something he described as no easy task.
They were born with rifles in their hands. Literally born.
Several nations have not signed on to the Board of Peace, including France, expressing concerns that the mission would expand beyond the charter and undermine the United Nations.
From Texas to Maine, millions are concerned about the weather, frigid temperatures, deep snow or ice in the forecast, and the possibility of power outages.
That happened to me before, so I had to get a generator.
He lives in Dallas. Meteorologist Craig Allen says the northern half of the country is in for bone-chilling conditions.
These areas between the cold temperatures and the gusty winds could have dangerously low wind chills of -50 or lower.
Attorney General Bondi says a woman who led an anti-ICE protest that disrupted a service at a Minnesota church has been arrested. Border Patrol Commander Dan Bovino says activists are stalking agents.
Well, hey, where were the cops during that 8 hours of stalking and violence? Where was Mayor Fry? Where was, Governor Waltz? I didn't see him around anywhere.
The film Sinners has won high praise.
No ghosts.
Now it has a record 16 Oscar nominations, including one for Best Picture. One Battle After Another also collected 13 nominations. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 500 points. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS Mornings on the go on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
2 climbers are feared dead at Mount Rainier National Park. And, they're now confirmed dead at Mount Rainier National Park. We will tell you all about that in just a moment. But first, we're checking KIRO News Radio traffic. And we are seeing travel times come down. I'll check this indicator. Alderwood to South Center on I-5 is about 57 minutes. That's getting closer to the average time of 36 minutes. We do still have a lot of slowing on I-5 southbound, starting from about Northgate, getting into the downtown core. We have 2 collisions at this point. One in the express lanes. So I guess that's the northbound direction. We have one in the Licton Springs area on I-5 southbound. That's causing some very dense traffic all the way up through Northgate, almost to 523 at this point. The good news is that the lake bridges are clear. The I-5 northbound drive is pretty much a speed limit drive all the way from Tacoma. The slowing around at Renton S curves in the northbound direction of 405, that's almost done. We do have a little bit of slowing getting on and off 405 from I-90, but that's pretty typical from this time of day, and it only costs you a few minutes. This traffic report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save $600 off windows and $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Don't wait. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
A blow to the local outdoor community as 2 climbers have now been confirmed dead at Mount Rainier National Park. The National Park Service tells the Seattle Times they recovered the bodies of the 2 climbers from the Wilson Glacier area of Rainier. A search for those climbers has been going on since Saturday. One person is dead after exchanging gunfire with SWAT in Lacey. It happened Wednesday night. Police say that suspect barricaded themselves inside an apartment with a gun. SWAT moved in. Shots were fired. The suspect died despite attempts to save them. We now know why a veteran Tacoma police officer was terminated last year. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
In a memo, Tacoma Police Chief Patricia Jackson wrote, TPD Sergeant Shane Wimbles was terminated last June after an internal investigation found he had sent multiple nude pictures of himself to female department employees via their social media accounts. Chief Jackson wrote his behavior was predatory, intentional, repeated, and inconsistent with personal and professional standards, and that it led to a loss of confidence, a breakdown in trust, and a measurable erosion of morale. The investigation also found Wimbles exhibited unbecoming conduct for allegedly submitting time cards with falsified signatures. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Anyone who's been outside knows how cold it is. If you need to get out of the freezing temperatures, the King County Regional Homelessness Authority has a severe weather shelter navigation hotline where someone can help you find the closest severe weather shelter. That number is 206-245-1026. Again, 206-245-1026. Let's look at your full forecast. Cloudy today with a high just of about 42 degrees. We're going to be foggy in the morning tomorrow with a sunny afternoon and a high of 46. Right now it's 35 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you all for hanging out with the show. I want to just make a correction because we always do on this show when we mess up. And the chief of Issaquah is a woman. Chief Paula Schwann is the police chief of Issaquah, and I just assumed I got caught with my, old way of thinking, and
I love that you admit that. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And just
it's not that hard.
And just assuming.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's almost like when you do news and everything, and someone like, oh, there was a burglary that happened down the street. A lot of times you assume it was a man that did it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And 9 times out of 10 it is.
Yeah, a lot of times we have our own
biases.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to apology to the police chief. And by the way, police chief of Issaquah, Paula Schwann, I think it's awesome that you want to represent the Seahawks. I still believe it's a slippery slope, but I think it's awesome that you want to represent the Seahawks.
Well, and what do you think? Should police officers and city employees be able to wear Seahawks gear to celebrate the great success of the team? Text us at 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
What's new at 10?
We are going to talk about police in Tacoma because a veteran police sergeant there was canned last summer, and it took a public disclosure request and a 4-month wait to find out why. But now KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has the details.
Tacoma police released the termination letter. in which Tacoma Police Chief Patricia Jackson wrote that Sergeant Shane Wimbles was terminated after an internal investigation found he had on multiple occasions sent nude pictures of himself to female department employees via their social media accounts. Chief Jackson wrote his behavior was predatory, intentional, repeated, and inconsistent with personal and professional standards, and that it led to a loss of confidence, a breakdown in trust, and a measurable erosion of morale. Retired King County Sheriff John Urquhart.
The people involved still work for that organization. They still have to work there. They still have to go to work every day and face their coworkers. And sometimes that's just embarrassing to do.
In Wimble's termination letter, Chief Jackson also wrote, I read every report, transcript, and document, and listened to each recorded interview. The emotional weight came through in those conversations. People described fear, disappointment, and embarrassment in a way that doesn't come across on paper. Hearing it firsthand made it clear how serious the impacts of your actions are and why real accountability has to follow. Along with a significant impact on the female employees involved, there is also concern about how it impacts the department as a whole.
When officers find out what their leaders are doing, it may be against the law that they shouldn't be doing, it certainly affects the morale.
The internal investigation also found Wimbles submitted time cards with falsified signatures. Chief Jackson called that a, quote, serious offense that undermines public trust by preempting the proper review of payroll expenditures, which are made with public funds. Jackson went on to say, we would not hire an entry-level applicant who had engaged in similar conduct, and I cannot justify continuing your employment in light of your actions. Law enforcement experts also note the offense calls into question Wimble's credibility, his honesty, and that could jeopardize cases in which he's been involved. So TPD has notified the Pierce County Prosecutor's Office, and he could be added to what's known as the Brady List, a confidential record maintained by prosecutors of law enforcement officers with histories of misconduct or credibility issues. It stems from the Supreme Court case Brady v. Maryland, which requires disclosing evidence favorable to a defendant, including anything that could impeach a witness's honesty. Former Pierce County elected prosecutor Mark Lindquist.
Defense attorneys can and often will ask for a retrial, a do-over, when Brady evidence is discovered after the fact. Sometimes the judge will think the Brady evidence was significant enough to warrant a retrial. Sometimes they won't.
Tacoma police wouldn't comment for this story, saying the department does not comment on personnel matters. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Great job, Chief Jackson. You know how I know Chief Patty Jackson of the Tacoma Police Department is doing an excellent job? This is how I know. Now,
How's that?
I have my
you live
opinion.
In Tacoma.
I have my opinion. I think she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
But this is how I can judge even outside of my opinion. We have never, since she's been doing that job, we haven't had one negative text about Chief Patty Jackson.
This is true.
As a matter of fact, every time you might see Patty Jackson in the news, it is something to do with community of Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing. Outside of this firing, and that was handled right away, you haven't even heard of anything Tacoma Police Department in a negative light.
And the police chief did everything that you needed to do, and this sergeant working anywhere else would have been canned, would have been fired much faster. But obviously, you have to go through more hoops in this case, and it sounds like she did it exactly how you would want someone to do it, and the outcome is exactly what you would expect in a case like this. I hope, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And I think it was taken care of very well.
I want to say something bad about Chief Patty Jackson.
What's that?
That she ain't came on the Gee Ursula Show yet.
Well, in her defense, have we actually specifically asked her to join us on the Gee Ursula Show?
Oh.
There's that. We can't expect them to magically appear if they haven't been asked.
Chief Patty Jackson, come on our show.
Yes, please.
And I think here soon they're getting ready to take the interim tag off if they haven't already.
No, I think they did.
They did already?
I believe so. Now I got to check to make sure. But
hey,
yeah,
Chief, once you become official like a whistle, can you please come on our show? All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of cleaning house, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is doing just that. And one of the biggest changes is at Parks and Recreation.
AP Diaz was recruited from Los Angeles to serve as park superintendent back in 2022 under the Harrell administration. A report by our sister station, Seattle Red, revealed extensive travel over his tenure, costing the city thousands of dollars, including his commute from California for the first months of his employment as he transitioned his family to Washington. A City Hall source told the Jason Rantz Show the new mayor's office was aware of the scope and cost of Diaz's travel and viewed it as problematic. But in their staffing announcement, they did not cite it as a reason for Diaz's departure. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Okay, I'm going to speak on this one, and I'm still holding my breath on the whole Mayor Wilson thing. But so far, I think that this is exactly what you would want her to do. I read the story about this park superintendent, and if in fact he was going on these international trips to places like France, Colombia, Mexico, the Netherlands, and the UAE, and saying these were for meetings or training for the Seattle Parks Department, I'm calling BS on that one, and I think that is a waste of taxpayers' dollars, and I'm glad she didn't keep AP Diaz.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what letter is behind your name. If you are bilking taxpayers, allegedly, you don't have a place in that position.
I don't know what it is about this position, Ursula, but if my memory serves me right, the last person that was in office during that time allegedly went to Hawaii and got married on a little bit of taxpayer dime and all that kind of stuff. So this has kind of been a thing.
Well, those junkets, I think, okay, you know how when we talk about budgets and you always say, well, where are they going to cut? Where are they going to cut?
Yeah.
Those are the things. Okay, let's just start with all of those little junkets. I mean, those days need to essentially be over unless it is critical for business. We're talking about a trade deal that is going to have a direct impact on the state of Washington. We should be eliminating those. Same thing with fraud. I don't care who is in power, we ought to be approaching it with the same kind of energy, using due process to root out fraud.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, all that big stuff that's going on in Minnesota, the allegations of widespread fraud in child care program in that state, it's making national headlines. A lot of attention going to the Somali community. So now attention here at home is being paid to Washington's use of federal child care dollars. And I don't know if you've been following this, but a lot of people are asking, is there any proven evidence of actual fraud in Washington? And I understand, and until I can see it for myself, I'm not going to put it out here on the air. But, some people are going through drastic measures to try to check on daycares run by immigrant, yeah, exactly. Somalis specifically. And right now, is there any proven evidence of fraud? The short answer is no. But and this was in an editorial that was written in the Seattle Times, State Auditor Pat McCarthy confirmed that for 4 years, between 2021 through 2024, her office could not fully audit the Federal Child Care and Development Fund because the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, otherwise known as DCYF, did not maintain records detailed enough to trace spending. So that means auditors are questioning about $420 million in federal child care expenditures, not because they found theft or fraud just yet, but because the paperwork doesn't meet federal requirements. So there's a question. It's questionable. And in her editorial, she points out that questioning costs because of missing documentation is not the same as proving fraud. There's no published audit finding yet, no court case, no criminal charges, no evidence tying fraud to any demographic group, including the immigrant communities. But, gee, it's important to also point out that now with Governor Ferguson here and new DCYF management, state auditors can perform a full audit for the first time in 5 years. And that work is underway, and we should expect to see a report in about 3 months. Okay, which sounds great and dandy, but I will say this. How did that go on for 4 years without the proper paperwork? And I think that's one of those examples of, yeah, you want to find some money before asking taxpayers for more money? How about you weed out fraud?
Yeah.
And again, it's not proven, but at least do better, have better paperwork. Prove what it is that you know what the money that we work hard for is going toward, and that it's going toward the proper channels.
Has there ever been a year in American history where there wasn't some type of fraud and some type of government or unaccounted spending or loss of records? I mean, didn't we have a former mayor here that deleted text messages? I mean,
yes.
It's par for the course, and I'm bringing this up because I said this, Ursula. There's a standard as athletes, like athletes, or coaches. You have a job. If you don't win, you get fired. Standard. And then there's business. If you don't bring in more than you spend, you will end up probably losing that business or having to file for bankruptcy. So some people that are in the business world that file for bankruptcy, they get into government and they thrive in government because in government there's less checks and balances. But isn't it interesting that the people that go bankrupt and do bad business dealings in business thrive in government?
And why? Because there are not enough controls and there's not enough oversight, and that falls squarely on our previous governor, Jay Inslee.
Sure.
I mean, going 4 years without and again, and this is what we also found in King County. Remember the auditor's report that said, wait a minute, they were throwing money at all these groups that had zero. It's like giving blank paychecks and saying, you're going to do the right thing with it, right?
Yeah.
And not checking to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's absolute BS, which is why, and this is a newer thing for me where I'm saying, like, before I say yes to any additional tax measures, like, show us where you're saving first.
Ursula, do you think that this is the reason why people leave the business world and go into the government world?
Well, for some people who are thinking like,
no checks and balances and everything.
And I don't want to cast a wide net and say it's all of government, but I think we absolutely, on a local, state, and federal level, can do a much better job of rooting out fraud.
Yep, agree.
And I can say that and also say what is happening in Minnesota with how they're targeting and using ICE to target specific communities is not the way to go about it. I mean, you can say two things.
You can. But, again, the way that they're going about it and targeting a specific demographic, that has been par for the course in this country. There has never been a time where a demographic in this country has not been demonized. And unfortunately, it's easy to continue what has gone on in the past. And I hope going forward through 2026 and 27, I hope that practice stops. We'll see.
Yeah, well, and Liz in Gig Harbor, one of our faves, said, don't forget the unemployment fraud here in Washington State during COVID. Was there any resolution to that? Yeah, there were, and we complained about that. There were no heads that rolled. The woman who was the head of that department, remember? Mm-hmm. She failed upward. She ended up getting a job in the Biden administration.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that money, they recovered, I believe, half. I need to update the information. But, again, that's our money.
Yeah.
We need way stronger oversight.
Yeah, agree. All right. We got some good stuff going on. We got scenarios coming on at 10:47. And then what about that 4-day work week? Well, there's a county here that's planning to stick to it. We'll tell you about it next. Gee Ursula.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
We live here in Washington.
I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games. Just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. And let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you feel embarrassed, trapped, maybe even ashamed just because you own a timeshare? Well, I'm here to tell you you're not alone. Chuck McDowell here, the timeshare cancellation guy. I get over 3,000 complaints a week from all kinds of folks that feel the same way you do. Honest people, teachers, veterans, grandparents, all losing sleep over a timeshare they can't get rid of. That's why 15 years ago, I founded Wesley Financial Group to help people take their lives back. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we would want our own family to be treated. That mindset has helped us cancel over 50,000 timeshares from people just like you. So if you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-261-3377. 800-261-3377. 800-261-3377.
It's hiring season at Sky Nursery. Hi, I'm Jen, greenhouse manager here at Sky, where we've been proudly serving Seattle area gardeners since 1953. Sky Nursery is truly a fantasy plant land, but it's also a bustling environment that takes a great team to succeed. Whether you're making coffee, cashiering, or on the sales floor, we're looking for applicants who like to learn, adapt with the seasons, and go home knowing they made a difference in somebody's garden. Spring is fast approaching. Find open seasonal positions and benefits at skynursery.com.
For over 50 years, they've spread a message of brotherhood and harmony through multi-platinum funk. The original street band, War. Live at Jazz Alley, January 29th through February 1st. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Lindsay. Former Special Counsel Jack Smith facing questions from Congress today over his efforts to criminally charge President Trump for election interference. Washington Democratic Representative Pramila Jayapal serves on the Judiciary Committee.
Did Donald Trump know that his allegations of election fraud were lies when he spread them?
Our proof was that he did, and we intended to prove that at trial.
Neither of the 2 indictments reached a jury before President Trump was reelected. Republicans believe the investigation was politically motivated. 2 climbers have been found dead in the Wilson Glacier area of Mount Rainier. Seattle Times reports rangers had been searching for them since Saturday. Their vehicle was found in the Paradise parking lot. No word yet how they died, and their names have not been released. 1 person's dead after exchanging gunfire with a SWAT team in Lacey. Here's KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
It happened Wednesday evening near College Street and 45th. Police say the suspect barricaded themselves inside the apartment with a gun. SWAT moved in and shots were fired. That suspect died despite attempts to save them. No officers were injured, and investigators are now handling the case. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
We're through the big dark. That's the 5 weeks with the earliest sunsets and latest sunrises. There's meteorologist Ted Beener.
We're gaining about a minute and a half to our day at this particular point. So that's going to give us our first 5 p.m. sunset on Sunday. And our first 7:30 a.m. sunrise of the year will be just after Groundhog Day.
And he says with the long-term forecast, it calls for an unusual amount of sunshine, the most for January. With the Seahawks 1 win away from the Super Bowl, general manager John Schneider has been named Executive of the Year by the Professional Football Writers of America. It's the first Executive of the Year award for him. On Wall Street, the Dow up 443 points, the NASDAQ up 257, and the S&P is up 54. Let's get a look at your KIRO News Radio traffic now. Here's Sully.
And Frank, we're dealing with the Revive I-5 project, primarily in the southbound I-5 drive. We're pretty heavy from 145th all the way down into the U District. Still running right around 50 minutes from Everett into the Seattle area. About 45 from Everett into Bellevue. It's not too bad there. Now, if you're getting across Mercer Island on westbound I-90 and you're wondering, why am I coming to an all-stop? Well, they're doing some very slow, and I mean very slow maintenance work that's rolling across the bridge from east to west, and it is blocking the right-hand lane. Right now it's about mid-span, working its way towards the Mount Baker Tunnel, so plan on a little bit of a delay there. The rest of the map, though, looks really good. I mean, we're running 40 minutes or less from Federal Way to Seattle, under 40 Puyallup to Renton, and Renton to Bellevue is under 20, so all in all, not bad. This report brought to you by the KIRO News Radio app. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO News Radio app where you can listen to your favorite news and shows and get updates sent right to your phone.
KIRO News Radio weather calling for mostly cloudy skies today and high of 42. Clouds and fog tomorrow morning, but after that, mainly sunny skies and a high of 46. A few clouds on Saturday, but pretty much mostly sunny with 44 degrees for a high. It's 36 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show, and on this show, we've talked about the 4-day work week quite a bit. And I have a question for you after the story that I'm going to bring you, because San Juan County is now doubling down on something that still sounds pretty radical to a lot of employers, and that is a 32-hour work week, and this is with no pay cuts for government employees. About 160 county workers moved to the shorter schedule back in 2023. We talked about it then. And the Seattle Times now reports this wasn't about being trendy. It was about money, because the county employees, or excuse me, the county officials were saying they couldn't afford big raises. So this is the way they were going to do it. They would just cut hours instead. And as a result, in the time since 2023, they have saved about $2 million. And you might not be surprised, but job applications are up by more than 200%. And employees who are either quitting or retiring, it's 28% less. That's according to a December 2025 report on this so-called experiment. And county leaders are also saying this has helped with both recruitment and retention, which many local governments are desperate to fix right now. But when it comes to the 32-hour work week, not everyone is buying it. So there is a new piece in Forbes that quotes Mark Dixon. He's the CEO of International Workplace Group, and he says, from his perspective, the math just doesn't work. He says everyone is focused on productivity, so he doesn't see that happening anytime soon. What do you think?
I think that sometimes we get stuck in how things always used to be. So even if it's a good plan, even if work can be efficient, there will still be people that will say, no, because back in my day, I've always worked 5 days a week, so you have to work 5 days a week. Here's what I believe. I believe in a few years, 10 years maybe, there will come a time where 4 days a week will be a standard, the way 5 days a week is. I think that you can get whatever you need done. So if you're going into the office, whatever you can get done in 5 days, you can get done in 4. 4 10s, call it what you want. Now, here's my question for all of my good people that listen to this show that are working from home. A question for you. Would you rather work 5 days a week from home or 4 days a week in the office?
I think some folks are going to have a hard time answering that, because there are still people who are working 3 days a week in office and still getting paid full time. Okay, I'll just point that out. However, I think in San Juan County, they have actual results that show it works. So they avoided getting the pay raise. I mean, at this juncture in my life, I would take an extra day off over a pay raise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford that. Some people would say, I don't want to lose any pay. But in San Juan County, they're showing, now it's a little bit different over there. I mean, if you've been to San Juan County, you'll see it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. There are different demands. Mm-hmm. But I think in order to make it work, it needs to have bigger buy-in. It can't just be one or two companies. You know what I mean? Because society right now, at least in the United States, is built around this idea that we work 5 days a week.
Right. Same society that still hasn't raised the federal minimum wage is still at $7.25. It's been that way for the last 17 years. Let that sink in for a sec. 17 years, the federal minimum wage has been $7.25. By the way, I think I asked a dumb question. I got people just like, 5 days a week at home. Okay, I messed up. I apologize. But I just want to say, if there's one thing that I am starting to learn, and I'm starting to learn, like, really it is feelings over facts. Like, even if a company they're doing great numbers, probably more efficient numbers at 4 days a week, there will still be the feeling of, nope, I just don't feel good about it.
Okay.
And they will still come in and say no.
I'm going to call both of us out on this because you and I have been very vocal about this work from home business.
Okay.
And,
I'm ready for this.
And some people could accuse us of feelings over facts.
Yeah.
Because you and I have said, hey, we think, and I'm going to say especially in the government jobs where they're fighting to just get people back 3 days a week.
Yep.
I want to check productivity. I want to check results. I want to know, are you actually as efficient as you were prior to the pandemic with this new setup? I'm
so glad you're bringing this up.
Uh-huh.
Let's go. Let's talk about Nike. We all know that big company, right?
Of course.
Nike before the pandemic. Before then, they were the clear. Now, don't get me wrong. Nike is still a clear leader. But during that time, they were the leader, the standard. Like nobody could touch Nike during that time. But then the pandemic came and it was time to work from home and everything like that. Then all of a sudden, Nike's designs and those things kind of dipped a little bit. Then they had this issue with the retail market where getting shoes on the black market and all that kind of stuff. Now all of a sudden, there has emerged new shoes, new styles. You see in Hoka. You're seeing New Balance. You're seeing all of these different brands that are kind of trendy and are cool. Nike is still the leader, but they gave other brands an opportunity. Now Nike and their creators.
Why? So what is proven that Nike did
because they were all working from home.
And the other companies were not?
Not saying that they weren't. But what I'm saying is there was a clear domination with Nike. Now, Nike still has a domination. Get the NFL contracts and all that. They're still dominant. I'll stand on this. I believe that a company that has employees all together 4 or 5 days a week will do better than a company in any other way. And oh, by the way, since we're talking about this, can we talk about the big companies and what they have done to some of the people working from home? What have they done?
Yeah, well, just yesterday I had the story that which company was it that I was talking about? Yeah, that's right, Meta, where a third of the recent employees who were laid off were remote workers. I mean, it is easier. And companies will not say it out loud because of PR and legal reasons, but they're not going to tell you that you're a lot easier to get rid of if you're not, face to face.
Last point, people believe you before they believe me. I'll ask you this. Our show that you and I did during the pandemic, you were here, I was home. We were separate. I want to ask you this. Which way, even though I could go home right now, I could go home right now and do our show.
No.
Our show is better which way? Apart or together?
Oh, together. Absolutely. And you and I are on the same page on this. I'm just saying that others could call us out. Even with your Nike example, correlation does not mean causation, right? I mean, we don't have any. But in this case of San Juan County, they can say, you know what, we made this change, and these are the actual improvements that we've seen.
Someone texted in and said New Balance was around 20 years ago. Excuse me. New Balance was around longer than that because I used to make fun of my dad wearing New Balance, right? But New Balance was never cool back then like New Balance is today. All right, scenarios next. Gee Ursula.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
We're really having a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
If you've saved more than $300,000, you may have a big problem in retirement. And It's taxes. Taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, taxes on your Social Security benefits, taxes on your investment income, and more. And when you add it all up, this could be your largest expense in retirement. That's why it's critical you get in front of this now. Hi, it's Charlie Harger. Discover the strategies that could significantly reduce your taxes in retirement with a free, customized retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, who has 2 locations in Seattle. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350. Don't overpay your taxes to the government. Call 206-210-1350.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No statement contained herein should constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or bird seed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
At Skyline, senior living never sounded so good. The world feels bigger when you stay connected to ideas, to culture, to the things you love. We designed Skyline for today's older adults who celebrate life rooted in the city, not apart from it. At Seattle's only true life care community, premier music venues, museums, and culinary gems are just steps away. Urban senior living has an address. Discover it all at SkylineSeattle.org.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games. Just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Right now, save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months same-as-cash financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Let's get to scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My best friend is driving me crazy, and I feel like a lousy friend. Am I a terrible person? Because I've been best friends with this woman since elementary school. We're now both in our 30s and have been through everything together, good times and bad. We're always there for each other, but now I don't know how much more if I could take. Here's the thing. Her mom has been very sick for several years. Of course, we've talked about it, but she's gotten worse, and our conversations have gone from fun memories and stories to constant, detailed updates about her mom's health. I know she's hurting, and I know she's dealing with a lot, and I know she's going through so much. And I listen to these long reports with all these medical details, and it's just endless. Now her mom is in the hospital and probably will never come out, but every day she fills my voicemail or calls and just talks about the latest development. Now, a good friend will listen even if it's not easy, but I am near my limit. My husband says she just needs to talk and that I need to be there for her, but it's bringing me down, and it's a tremendous waste of time, it feels like. Oof, it's hard to read. I feel guilty for feeling this way. Am I a terrible person for getting tired of hearing about this every day? Should I say anything about it, or am I just a terrible friend? 888-973-5476 is the text line. Ursula, you're at the bat first.
I mean, I would listen. I don't know that I would personally say, I don't think you're a terrible person for feeling how you feel. I think there are friends who will always use other friends as a recipient for trauma dump, and it can go on and on and on and on. But this is a very specific case, and if you consider yourself a true friend, then you would be there through thick and thin, and this is a time when she really needs you and she needs someone to listen. That said, you can also limit your time and just say, be sympathetic, but actually limit the amount of time that you have if it's actually affecting you. I don't know that is necessarily the case, but the question would be, how much do you value that friendship? I don't know enough of the friendship to know. I would listen.
Okay. I would listen too. We're both on the same page. I would listen. But I do think that this admission right here, I do think it is a shared feeling by more than most. And sometimes it's you find out who your real friends are in different ways.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say the truth never expires. It will reveal its way in some way. So you having these thoughts, you can do what you want to do. Maybe tell her. Maybe tell her, like, hey, I know you're going through a lot, but this is hard on me. Do what Ursula would do. Go ahead and admit it and just tell her. Because obviously, you're not the friend that she thinks she has. That's one. And that's one thing about friends and everything. Because I've learned, Ursula, that some people also will pretend like they're your friend when there are tragic moments too. They're not,
yeah.
You know what I mean? They show up and they're acting like it's performative. Like, oh my goodness, my friend's going through a hard time, Facebook. Look at me over here. And they'll use your tragedy for content.
That's the worst.
They're not checking on you. They're checking for themselves.
Yes.
So there it is at.
Yes. And when you said you would do what I would do and tell...
You wouldn't tell him?
I would, if I were to say, I said if I truly felt that way.
Yeah.
And there are times, and I don't think I would, but there are times when you know that you've got that drama queen friend or that drama king friend who always just wants to make everything about them.
Yeah.
And it's not really a tragedy, but it's just, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who's really dealing with something serious like a death or a job loss or whatever. Man, try to be there be the person that you want to have when you go through something like that.
Yeah. Now, I was kind of unfair, Ursula, because there might be something that you are going through personally that you haven't shared.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
And then you are still having to be the friend and deal with that.
Yeah, but that's not what it sounds like this was happening. Like,
Yeah.
I think the best advice is be the friend that you want to have in the same situation.
Okay. Paul, what do you think, man?
Ursula just said the right thing. I think if think about how you would be in this situation and the people you would want around and need around. But there does need to be a limit. At some point, you need to see. I've been going through the text line. Maybe encourage, hey, you might want to go to that next level. Maybe seek some professional help. True. Maybe, get some assistance there that help you in ways that I can't help you as a friend. You can maybe dive in deeper or just explore some other things. But and it's tough, but we all have our limits. But at the end of the day, when you see a friend in need, it's best to
be a friend indeed.
Be a friend indeed. Exactly.
Oh, I was about to. Okay.
B.M. Puyallup says, "Get a dog. They make better best friends."
Let me tell you, Ursula, have you not learned? B.M. Puyallup during scenarios. Come on.
He's always got these things.
Loves animals over there.
Nick, what you got?
Well, I think maybe the friend who's going through a rough time might be leaning on someone a little too heavy in this situation, and hopefully she's got other points of contact to get emotional help from, because it sounds like maybe the other side receiving this is getting a little overwhelmed with the amount of news they're hearing. So I'm not saying drop her completely, but get your space when you need it and still take little pieces here and there where she can still confide in you, but less with a more healthy amount. If you're truly her friend, you'll be there through the good and bad times. Don't allow it to be a burden, though, and make sure your materials and mentals are still good without getting too pulled in.
Well, Ursula, I have a takeaway from this scenarios. And I'm not saying it's a sweeping statement or anything like that, but it's just a comment from me.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. You have less friends than you think.
Real friends.
All right.
And that was not directed at me. That was like just
No,
general.
in general. No, it was not. No. That's just
it's
in
true.
general.
It's true. But and you, as you stated properly, you find out who the real friends are when you know what hits the fan.
Boy, that truth never expires. Okay, everybody. Seahawks time. There's a new anthem that's out. And someone homegrown right here in Seattle wrote it. You get to hear that next as he joins us. Gee Ursula.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, "Are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep." I'm like, "So you're going to wake me up?"
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, it's not fair that you're sleeping.
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
The Gee and Ursula Show.
There's two types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Former special counsel Jack Smith testifies publicly for the first time on the investigations into President Trump's retention of sensitive government documents at Mar-a-Lago and leaving the White House in 2021 and his actions in the wake of the 2020 election. Smith at a House hearing says he stands by his decision to obtain phone records of Republican members of Congress for the investigation.
The subpoenas that we secured with non-disclosure orders from a judge because I had grave concerns about obstruction of justice in this investigation, specifically with regards to Donald Trump.
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
It's typical that you look at not just the target of a probe, but other individuals, particularly in specific days where something big happened.
Smith denies criticism from GOP lawmakers that he targeted the president for political reasons. Federal agents have arrested 2 of the protesters who disrupted a church service in Minnesota Sunday.
Attorney General Pam Bondi announced the arrests on X. Activists Nakima Levy-Armstrong and Chantil Louisa Allen are being charged under a civil rights law against interfering with practice of religion. Armstrong had said City's church in St. Paul was targeted because its pastor works for ICE.
Is a most definite conflict of interest, and it cannot stand.
CBS News has learned a magistrate did not sign off on charges against former CNN journalist Don Lemon, who was covering the protest. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
After meeting with President Trump on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the U.S. plays a crucial role in ending Russia's war against Ukraine and paving the way for lasting peace.
During any dialogue with any president, I have to defend the interests of my country. That's why the dialogue is, maybe it's not simple, but today it was positive.
Following the discussions in Davos, U.S. negotiators are meeting with Russian President Putin in Moscow. An Arctic blast will bring with it snow and ice from the plains to the south and across the Great Lakes and Northeast. Martin Hardware in Charlottesville, Virginia has been busy. Manager Sean McCormick.
We've sold a lot of sleds today, and also people have been calling a lot of kerosene heaters and propane heaters in case of a power outage.
New research from Johns Hopkins University is trying to take a proactive approach when it comes to the increasing problem of space junk. CBS News space contributor Christian Davenport.
It'll give us a much better fidelity on when objects from space are coming back down to Earth. And we know this is getting only more and more important as we launch more satellites and spacecraft into orbit.
The research is published in the journal Science. Stocks right now are up on Wall Street. The Dow has jumped 447 points. This is CBS News.
Take control of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are the Hawks going to win on Sunday? Well, we'll find out what a super fan thinks. But first, we need to get a look at the roads. Here's KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan.
I thought you were going to ask me, Frank. I'm not sure I'm ready to go out on a limb.
Are you a super fan?
No, I'm just a fan.
You're a great fan.
Thank you. This traffic report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And speaking of Lake Washington, since we talked last about 30 minutes ago, DOT was doing some work westbound across the lake on I-90, slow-moving work. It's now out of the way, and so the bridge is wide open again. So that's great. The only real slowing we have right now is on southbound I-5 through the Northgate area, down through the merging towards 85th before it loosens up. Need about 45 to 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle. Same number from Everett to Bellevue. It's still kind of heavy in Canyon Park. Northbound I-5 a little sluggish as you approach the Ship Canal Bridge, but really not too much. Federal Way to Seattle, Puyallup to Renton, they all look really good at this point. Save up to $600 off and $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Don't wait to visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Lindsay. The House Judiciary Committee has been hearing testimony today from former Special Counsel Jack Smith about the investigation into alleged efforts by President Trump to overturn the results of the 2020 election. This is Washington Democratic Representative Pramila Jayapal.
Did he pressure state officials to ignore true vote counts in those states?
Yes.
Did he spread lies and conspiracies to his followers to make them believe that the election had been illegally rigged against him?
Yes.
In response to questioning by a Republican member of the committee, Smith said there was no partisan motivation in the conduct of the investigation. A legislative move is designed to keep immigration officers out of Washington even after they've left ICE. Democrat Tara Simmons of Bremerton introduced House Bill 2641 yesterday. It would ban any law enforcement agencies in Washington from hiring somebody who were hired as sworn officers of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency on or after January 20th of 2025. You can find out more on that on our website, mynorthwest.com. Barricade situation in Lacey ended with a deadly shootout last night. SWAT surrounded the area near College Street and 45th after getting reports of a suspect with a gun. Shots were fired between SWAT and that barricaded person. A suspect died. No officers were hurt. 2 climbers have been found dead in the Wilson Glacier area of Mount Rainier. The Seattle Times reports rangers have been searching for them since Saturday. The vehicle was found in the Paradise parking lot. Don't know yet who exactly they were or how they died. Trip to the Super Bowl on the line on Sunday. Seahawks won't get there without going through their rival, the LA Rams. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey asked a super fan for his prediction.
David Israel became the youngest Seahawks season ticket holder when he was 3.
My dad bought the tickets, and he put them in my name.
And he's predicted big wins like the 2013 NFC Championship game against the 49ers.
I kind of saw it happening before it happened.
So what's the prediction for the Rams game from the one-time president of the Hawks fan club?
As long as our offense stays strong, I don't think anyone can touch our defense.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And your weather forecast is calling for mostly cloudy skies, 42 degrees this afternoon. Clouds and fog tomorrow morning. Afternoon, mostly sunny tomorrow, the high of 46, and some sunshine on Saturday, too. 37 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Grateful that you're hanging out with us today. Just so you know, there's a few more games or days until the big old NFC Championship game is going to happen on Sunday.
And somehow you don't seem even the slightest bit nervous about Sunday.
We here. You know what I mean? It's like when you wake up in the morning, do you get nervous to drive to work?
No. So that's how you feel? It's just like another day driving to work? Because I feel like this is the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way,
I think it'll feel like that.
If you are nervous, I totally get it. I was nervous week 18 when the Seahawks were down there at Levi Stadium. I was nervous for that game. But I was not nervous for the divisional round, and I'm not nervous about the Rams. Okay. Why? because the Rams ain't who they used to be.
Okay, well, you're going to have to explain that in a second. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO is our text line. Tell us how you are feeling about our beloved Seahawks. And I know there are a few people who said, I'm tired of hearing about the Seahawks. But man,
No, you're not.
Yeah, and guess what?
Yeah.
It may be a while before we're in the same position.
That's what I'm saying.
Hello, so we need to enjoy the ride while we can. We just have a few more days.
Absolutely.
Okay. But and coming up at 11:30, we will have Agree to Disagree. But right now,
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
I mean, he's from here. And so we had to bring him in. He does an amazing job of blending traditional African sounds here with hip hop music. His music is been played on different shows. His music actually was placed on a Jaden Daniels commercial, the quarterback for the Commanders. His music is very catchy, and maybe some of you all remember this person because he used to be on our airwaves all the time. The Dre's Experience. Dre's, hello, good brother.
What's happening, family?
welcome. It's been too long.
You guys were like my pandemic family. You remember that?
Oh,
we
yeah.
were spending time together.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had
gosh.
masks on, but we was family. You know?
Well, before we get into the music and everything, first, you're a big Seahawk fan, obviously, no doubt about it. But then you made a song. So take us into the decision, why you decided to make a song, and what were your thoughts while you were making it?
That's an interesting question. Like, first off, I typically don't like to do anthems. It is not something I'm into.
Okay.
But I love these Hawks.
Oh.
Like, in a very real way.
Why?
And so, man, it's what they are. And I saw when they won that game against the 49ers, not the last one, the one before.
Yep.
That's when I was like, I got to do something. And I was frustrated with the fans because everybody was doing these, like, LOB remakes. Like, it was like LOB 2 and Legion of Zoom. I'm like, yo, that's corny, fam. They already said who they are. We're the dark side. It's MOB. Like, they're telling you who they are. And Seattle was so in love with the past that we couldn't see where it was time to go. And I was like, maybe we could create some art and some music that channels the energy of who this team is. I love Mike's energy. I love everything that we're building here in Seattle.
Okay, so before we continue, can we hear some of this song so we can enjoy?
Mob on 3.
Let's
1,
get
2,
it.
3.
M.O.B.
Yeah.
M.O.B. M.O.B. You are now entering the death zone. Welcome to the dark side. M.O.B.
It's time to eat, boys. Mob mentality. And when we say mob, we mean mission over. Welcome to the dark side. When you see that blue and green, know it's mob ties. Defending every blade of grass when we collide. It's Seattle when it's raining and we outside. Yeah, we outside, everybody outside. Whole city going up like it's our time. You hungry, we can provide some beef up front and pancakes from my old line. It goes down in these trenches, and Murphy is a goon that I mentioned. I got a big cat and a K9, stout on the goal line, so holla at me when it's go time. 21, can you do something for me? I'm everywhere like I'm E-Man Warren. Wait, hold up, I gotta shout out my African, Ian Jigba, you know he's sicker than most. When he run the post, he getting ghosts. When we flex, we don't skip steps, we do the reps. E. Jones told us that's how you build a legacy. Some game from your boy Dre's in the
M.O.B. M.O.B.
Okay, we got to pause it right there. First of all, love it. Absolutely love it.
Like, I wanna dance.
I'm one of those people. I've learned this about myself. I love hooks.
Yeah.
The hook on this is incredible.
Yeah.
Who helped you with the hook, man? M.O.B. M.O.B.
That's my daughter.
M.O.B.
Shout out to Nyasha. I pulled her out. She's an amazing artist, and I was like, yo, I need you to come do something for me. She came to the studio, laced it, and then the welcome to the dark side is my sister, Frankie. She's another artist from Seattle who's like huge, and I literally said to her, I said, yo, I need you to sound like you're in the Hunger Games. Can you do that for me? She was like, yeah, and I just want you to say, welcome to the dark side. She was like, yeah, and then that was it. Put it together.
And you just sit there and you can just creatively just come up, it just comes in your mind right there. I mean, you got to watch the game. What you got to do to get in that mode?
Well, you know what? funny part about it is I said I love this team. I live with this team. I watch all your content. I watch all of what the interviews that they all season because I'm a junkie. I'm a fanatic. I'm a fan. Yeah. And so all of the sayings were in me. 12 as one. Defend every blade of grass. We don't have 53, we have 70. Like, I watched Mike say this stuff all year. So it was easy for me to be like, oh, just write what I wanted it to be something that Mike McDonald could be proud of as well, where when the team hears it, it feels like an extension of what the coach is already telling them, but it also got to be a bop. It had to be a banger, like, because I know a bunch of 49ers fans, and they always playing that Bang Bang Niner Gang. And
yeah.
And then the Pittsburgh Steelers got black and yellow. Like, we needed something that felt like, yo, it was real hip-hop, not corny, not – I don't do that, but this had to be a banger.
So I'm glad he said that.
Yeah.
Because I can't, I can't stand anthems.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that text in before Dre's came on, and they were like, but all of my brothers and sisters is texting in. Even my seasoned folks are texting in like, hey.
Yeah, we got one.
So where did this love for the Seahawks? Because you're quoted as saying you have not missed a game in decades. Like, how did this all start? And why do you love them so much?
I love God and the Hawks. That's what it's a religion, right? So Sunday, I actually go to church Saturday because I'm like, yo, come football season, I know what it is. But just being a kid, growing up, everything, Jim Zorn, Kurt Warner, Paul Scancy, Steve Largent, going all the way back there. And I went through the hard years, the Dan McGuires and the Rick Myers. We thought he was the next Joe Montana. Like, I'm a fan.
Yeah,
and can I give one person their flowers?
Yes.
Gee, Scott, I got to give you your flowers. Because you said to me, he's the greatest in the world. And I was like, man, this dude's crazy. I heard you talking about JSN. I was like, man, he's crazy. I was like, when you said it, I saw you online. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to get, because me and Gio go back and forth. And I was like, yo, I don't want to argue with this dude.
Yeah.
I bow down. He's the greatest in the world. I was like, yo, you saw something we didn't. And I was like, but I need y'all to give me mine because I was talking to you guys back when this was back in the day. And I was telling y'all, keep John, let Pete go. And I said it back then. You weren't arguing, though. You guys weren't arguing. You're just asking my opinion. And I was like, John has built a monster. So shout out to John Schneider. I love Pete Carroll. He deserves a statue, but, you know.
Dre's, I got people texting in. And by the way, I want some of my seasoned brothers and sisters to text in because it's important. Because if you think that was good, then we got a real anthem here. But by the way, me and my text line sometimes, we don't agree on nothing all the time. but this right here, collectively, everyone is texting in doing that. You know, you have a way, like one of the things that I will say about your music is that it just always sounds different. There's a one jam, and right now my brain's not working. What's the one song that
Born to Win.
Hey, let me tell you.
Oh, I love the theme of that.
He has this song, and if you guys go and look up Dre's right now.
Born to Win.
It's called Born to Win. And the way it starts off, I'm telling you, I used to listen to that song all day, every day, because when it's in there, it is just a beautiful thing, especially if you need a little bit of confidence in yourself and you just telling yourself that you're born to win. My question is what is it that sounds different about your music? Because it does. And I'm not even a rap music. Rap music really isn't my thing.
Yeah.
But your music, I get hooked on.
Relatable.
I appreciate that, right? So lyrically, I try to be relatable, and then I don't know, I just try to fit somewhere in the crack where somebody else isn't. I don't think the world needs another whatever, right? And I don't want to do what anybody else is doing. I want to be unique and different. What's dope about this track, too, is it's being embraced everywhere. Like, they played it at the stadium like 8 times last week.
I love it.
It's going to be on blast this week.
Super Sam really made sure that happened.
It was on blast, right? So it'll be on blast again this week. I'll be in the building at the stadium this week for the Seahawks game. And then also it'll be, the fans are grabbing it. The Seattle Times just did a big piece. So it is really becoming organically that. And a couple of players have now got at me like, yo. And I'm like, yo. So for me, I want the players to embrace it. I want the people to embrace it. It has to become ours in a real way.
So Kevin in Seattle says, I'm a seasoned 71-year-old fan here. I love this Dre's song. Now, wait a minute. 71, Ursula?
Shout out.
70.
Kevin in Seattle is also what we call a P1. He listens every single day. And he would be in the top 20.
Ty in Tacoma
listeners.
says, I'm a diehard Dre's fan. I got a lot of his music on my phone. This song is a straight banger.
That's what's up, man. I've never had a song do what this one did. I ain't gonna lie to you, like in this region. I did over 500,000 streams across platforms the first day. So it just went crazy in a way that was like, yo, is this what's happening?
Oh, I love it. Well, I wanted, Nick found Born to Win.
Oh, okay.
Tell you where I'm feeling like I need a tropical drink.
I used to listen to this every day.
Yeah, you hit me and was like, yo, this song. I was like, yeah.
Hey, this is it right here, man. We got people texting in, and before we leave out of here, we're gonna have to play some of that song again. That anthem was nice.
But before we do that, I want to know how you're feeling. Do you think we're going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl? What are you feeling right now?
We're a team of destiny. Yeah, this is it. Everything, I can't believe I'm saying this. Everything he said, I agreed with. And I do not agree with this guy. And he knows I have no problem going head up with him. But everything he said about where the 49ers were, I wasn't, for whatever reason, on my way in here right now, a friend of mine asked me what I think. I said, I'm not worried. Like, because of how locked in we are.
Yeah.
When the last game was over,
yes,
and we were in the locker room, and we weren't celebrating, I was like, oh, yeah, we're locked. Like, we just looked like, remember Kobe Bryant, job's not finished?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, we looked like, yeah, we haven't done anything. And we didn't come this far to come this far. Everything about this mentality is actually real. Mm-hmm. Some players fake it. These boys are for real. Mm-hmm. I think we win the game going away. This will not be like the last one where they were putting up 37 points, 36. That won't happen this time.
Do you think this is kind of the Super Bowl, given who we're playing?
Oh, yeah. We win this, man. Start celebrating. Get your pom-poms out. I mean, I know we can do that. The team can't, right?
We can.
The Patriots, who we will probably play, or Denver, they are formidable opponents. And so at the end of the day,
yes, we just need to get through Sunday.
Get through Sunday.
Beth in Everett says, I'm not a rap fan. I'm not an anthem fan, but damn, I love it.
Appreciate it, Beth.
We only have a couple minutes, so we're going to play a little bit more.
And then how can people, if they're listening right now, and they're like, yeah, and listen, after you're done, I want to be able to find this song and hear this song. How can they hear it?
The song is Dre's The Dark Side. It is streaming on all platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your music, just put in Dre's The Dark Side. It's there.
MOB. Welcome to the dark side.
You're in the death zone. Welcome to the dark side.
12-1, you know how we do it. Better bring your hard hat when you can illumine. What you know about the death zone? We don't want it easy. We rather work for it. That's the time we on. Going crazy in the hot snatch. Man, we got this thing feeling like a mosh pit. Focus, man, mission over bullshit. But we don't talk about that Super Bowl. I'm still sick. It's still shout out to the LOB. But my young boys popping and it's MOB. Big Mike brought us back. Now we starting to believe. Now it's everything earned and there ain't nothing free. When that D-line coming and them linebackers hunting and the hawk get to swooping and the crab get to busting and the secondary swarming and the quarterback slanging. Feel like everybody's open. You rocking with the MOB. Yeah.
Wow.
Imani says this track is a whole vibe. Thanks for being on the show to promote this banger. Let's see. It's best over a highlight reel. That should be the entrance music, according to Kenny in Mount Vernon, for the Hawks for years to come.
Kenny's a wise man.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I mean, they do have a country singer on for halftime. But I just want to say, and I got proof of it, I shot my shot. I just want to say, I shot my shot on some Dre's. Hey, NFC. Anyways. Hey,
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
man.
folks are just really responding so positively. Mark D. and Lake Steven says this puts everyone in a good mood, and it definitely does.
Yeah. Thanks, Drace. Appreciate you coming in. And, man, how long you gonna be in town for?
I'm going to be in town for, we're going to win this week. I'm going to be in town a couple weeks, and we're going to be, I need people to play that dark side all week long, man. That's how we get turned up for the game.
Yes.
So let's just keep spinning it.
Yeah. Thanks,
Love
Drace.
it.
Appreciate you
Thank you
coming
guys
in.
for having
No
me.
doubt. Again, Dre's The Dark Side. Dre's, D-R-A-Z-E. Dre's The Dark Side on all platforms that you go and rock with some music. Hey, we got some more of the show that's coming up next. It's Agree to Disagree. Gee and Ursula.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. I have a really bad left hip. In fact, this other doctor's like, well, you're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh, my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes, and I'm telling you right now, I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Wagner. It could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you, as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
For over 50 years, they've spread a message of brotherhood and harmony through multi-platinum funk. The original street band, War. Live at Jazz Alley, January 29th through February 1st. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Lindsay. A difficult flu season has turned deadly in Thurston County. KIRO 7's Gary Horker reports on the first flu-related death of the year.
The State Department of Health says this is the 39th death in our state because of flu season, and it's much higher than the 5 deaths reported this time last season. Again, this is the first death ever reported this year in Thurston County.
The Washington Department of Transportation hopes to reopen US 2 between Coles Corner and Leavenworth in March. It's been closed since the damaging storms last month. WashDOT Steve Rourke says it did a lot of damage.
We've identified 50, think of these as work orders, emergency work orders. We've identified 50 sites that we are tracking and making repairs at.
Initial damage estimates are between $40 and $50 million. WashDOT hopes to get most of that repair money from the federal government. Well, it happened again, and as we always ask, did you feel it? Small 3.0 magnitude earthquake registered close to Duval in northeast King County. Pacific Northwest Seismic Network says it was about 15 miles deep. Congratulations, you've survived the big dark.
This is the time of year where the sunrise is late and the sunset is early. And we have some good news. This coming Sunday, right after the Seahawks hopefully beat the Los Angeles Rams, we will have our first 5 p.m. sunset.
That's KIRO Newsradio meteorologist Ted Beener, and he says we're gaining about a minute of sunlight a day right now. Temperatures, meanwhile, have plummeted, and if you need to get out of the cold, cities and counties have opened cold weather shelters. King County Regional Homelessness Authority has a severe weather shelter navigation hotline where you can find the closest one. Families with children can even get a ride if they need one. The number to call is 206-245-1026. Wall Street today, the Dow up 464 points. The NASDAQ is up 265 and the S&P up 55 points. KIRO News Radio traffic now. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, thanks, Frank. Lake Washington Windows and Doors has the update. Let's start you here in Seattle. Revive I-5, of course, blocks 2 northbound lanes of I-5 at the Ship Canal Bridge. Just a minor backup right now starting near 520, adding maybe 5 minutes to your commute. Our express lanes have scattered backups between the U District and Northgate. South 5, a little slow from Northgate to the Ship Canal Bridge. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 25 minutes. If you're heading out toward Hood Canal Bridge, road work on State Route 3 at Big Valley Road has traffic jammed up in both directions. Heavier southbound. This is right at Four Corners for those familiar with the area. And in Auburn westbound 18, just before Weyerhaeuser Way, we have a fully engulfed car fire. It's blocking 2 right lanes, and right now we've got big backups in both directions on 18. Some drive times. Federal Way to Seattle, just 10 minutes. Bellevue to South Center, 15. And Tacoma to Olympia, plan on a half hour. Save $600 off windows, $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Don't wait. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your weather forecast, mostly cloudy, 42 degrees this afternoon. Clouds and fog tomorrow morning, but afternoon sunshine, a high of 46. Saturday, a few clouds, but otherwise mostly sunny day for the most part. 44 on Saturday, partly cloudy, 45 on Sunday. It's 37 in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:33. It's time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
All right, with all the excitement around the Seahawks today, we haven't paid attention to the other big pop culture news of the day. The Oscar nominees are out and about, and it was a historic day for the Oscars as Sinners was nominated for 16. Yes, that's right, 16 Oscars. So, Ursula, I want to start with a possible challenge for you here in Agree to Disagree. Could you commit to watching one Oscar-nominated movie a week until the award show?
One a week?
One a week.
You talking to Ursula?
Wait.
She can't even watch Landman. Hell, are we talking about?
That would be no. That would be something that I haven't done ever in my lifetime, first of all. Secondly, that would be assuming that I pay attention to the Oscar nominations. That said, Elena, I know that this is a very important day for you. She texted in and was saying that it was a historic day, and I don't want to take anything away from that. I just don't do that many movies, especially now. Yeah. So, no, I can't commit to that. But I am excited. The thing I love about the Academy Awards or any awards show, if I'm going to watch it, is the stories behind it, or the stories of overcoming challenges, or, hey, this is someone's first time to ever win an award after 30 years in the industry, or, that kind of thing. That's interesting to me, but I can't commit to, like you said, I mean, the first thing I need to do is keep watching Landman because it has changed your life.
Changed my life.
I know.
And tell the people.
And I did watch one episode for you.
And by the way, this isn't hype. I'm not getting paid by Landman.
No, you're not.
And when I'm not on the air, I'm talking about
it.
Landman.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm a little nervous to say this because I know that some people might clip this and they might send it around and it will be upsetting. But as you all know, whatever I say, I don't give a damn if I hurt your feelings or not.
Okay, good.
Sinners was a good movie. I watched Sinners in a theater first night. It was a good movie.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan is someone I'm not a crazy fan of, but Michael B. Jordan did a great job in this movie. The characters, he played twins.
Can you give, for those of us who don't even know what it's about, what is it about? Like, one or two lines about what's the general thing.
Okay. They go back in time, and they're down in the South, and they're trying to build a juke joint. And basically, Sinners is kind of like when vampires can't come inside, right? They can't come inside or whatever, and they can't have sunlight. Well, the Sinners is kind of like inside of there and outside, and it's kind of like in the real world, good and bad, being in the juke joints or being in the church and all that stuff. So it's kind of
that does sound really interesting. Actually,
it was good. It was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, Jason and Mukilteo said Sinners was good, but it wasn't that good. Is that what you're about to say?
Yo, Sinners was good. But is it 16 nominations? Oscars good? No. Nope. Again, I liked it. I thought it was cool. But it's not like that. As a matter of fact, I would argue that some people would probably leave Sinners and not really catch the message that's in it.
Okay, like is it one that you'd have to watch a few times and then you're like, or someone tell you this is what it's about, and then you watch it again, and then you kind of understand it better? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, afterwards, it was a group of us that went. We all had conversations about it. Oh, but what did you like? So it was good. It really helped out.
Okay.
But it's one of those movies that you watch it one time, I'd almost argue you'd almost have to watch it again so you can really get some of the messages. Kind of like when I'm doing stuff on the show and sometimes I say little things here, there, and what? I didn't understand that. It's one of those things. Sinners was good.
Okay,
but
so
it wasn't 16 Oscar nominations good.
And you're not going to commit to watching, how about one a month? Oh, no, we can't even do one a month. We don't have that much time. That's the problem.
If it ain't land, man, I don't want it.
I'm curious though, Ursula, would there be ever a moment, would it have to be a series of movies to get you? Is there a genre of movie that you actually will say, I'm sitting down and watching this?
I like escapism because of what we deal with on a daily basis, and having been in this business for 4 decades now. The things that I look for are levity, comedy, or I just don't want to have to invest so much. Does that make sense? Invest so much emotion in it.
Here's what I believe, Ursula. I think that it is getting harder and harder for writers to make different plots to really keep us interested.
Yeah.
And I will admit, I am a harder critic on movies today than I used to be.
Plus, it's an investment. You're already paying for your streaming services, but if you're going to go out and have that, the last one I loved was the Tom Cruise movie.
Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Mission Impossible?
Yes.
No, Mission Impossible. No. Top Gun.
Top Gun.
That was good.
Yes.
That was good.
Before we move on, coming up tomorrow on Seattle's Morning News, I actually got to interview the first maestra. So not maestro, but maestra, the first female composer that did all the Academy Award music in 2020. So,
that is cool.
Yeah, her name's Emer Noon. That's coming up tomorrow here. All right, I got some help from the text line on this one here, and I think this one might be tough for the Ursulas of the world here. All right, G, I'm going to start this question with you here, and I know you might have a little biased. Mike in Portland asks, would you rather have the Seahawks win on Sunday or guaranteed the Mariners go to the World Series next year? Now, remember, emphasis on there.
It's not fair for me.
Mike.
It's not fair for me.
Okay, yeah, because G works. Okay, so I'll answer first.
Okay.
I'll answer first. And they would go to the World Series or win the World Series?
No. The only winning is Seahawks win on Sunday. So that just means NFC Championship game, no mention of the Super Bowl, or Mariners make the World Series. Not win the World Series, but make the World Series.
I'm going to make people mad. I want the Mariners to make the World Series because the Seahawks have already been to the Super Bowl and have won the Super Bowl.
Ursula always loves being fair. It's your turn now. Oh, my gosh. Nick, which one you want, bruh?
I want both sides, too. I'm with Ursula. I'm more of a Mariners fan, so I'm biased, too. I want a World Series here, so we're balanced out around here, you know?
Dave in Snohomish County asks, are any scenarios fair? That's the whole point.
Exactly. Sharon, the Scrabble Savant, says World Series. Give me that Super Bowl, baby. Give me that Super Bowl. I want the Super Bowl right now. But no, it's not a shot at the Mariners. Love the Mariners.
See, I love what Drew said. We're going to win the Super Bowl, and the Mariners are going to win the World Series. Now, with that, I'm good.
Yeah, we don't need no trade-off over here.
All right, everybody. Your text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. Gee Ursula.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
I really having a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
Are you in the market for a new car? Buying a car is a big deal, and that's why where you buy matters just as much as what you buy. And right now, we are driving a Subaru Outback. We also have a Forester. Both of them came from Carter Subaru. And what keeps us loyal to Carter Subaru is how they treat their customers. You're not going to face any pressure. They don't play any games. This is a dealership that treats customers like family, and they are invested in our community. And that kind of reputation really spreads, and you can see it all over the roads. When you drive around, you see Carter Subaru license plate frames everywhere. Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership. Right now, they have more than 700 Subarus in stock. That is the largest selection in our state. For example, you can get the 2026 Outback starting at 3.9% financing. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline or Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 1/31/26.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Confidence with winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety can handle rainy commutes and icy roads. Find stress-free pricing and a stress-free experience at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years.
We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
It's Gee and Ursula. It's time to get to those text messages and feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's Words to Live By.
And you started off the show this morning with one of those random questions, and you made it a would you rather, and you asked, would you take a $10,000 a month job right now or bet on yourself and make $10 million later on?
Yeah.
Right?
In 2 years.
In 2 years. Jeremy, the hot sauce guy, texted in and said, that's me exactly. I made about that at Boeing, and I gave it all up for our family hot sauce business. I wanted to mention to Jeremy that I love the boxes that those hot sauces come in. Kevin in Seattle says, Gee, start your own business. I did. Best decision I ever made.
Kevin in Seattle.
Gee has a few businesses.
Come on now. All right, who's next? Tyson from the 808 says, give me that $10,000 a month.
Which is what you said too. And I answered I would bet on myself.
Yeah.
But again, that's now. If you'd asked me this 20 years ago, I'd be, no, give me that $10,000 a month, thanks.
Yep.
Income tax for athletes. Susan in Kent says, income taxes are unconstitutional, as in that is the law that lawmakers swear an oath to uphold.
Do we really want to talk about laws that used to be on the books in this country? Nope. We're going to change the show. Are you skipping health insurance? Helen in Kent says, I'm one of those 28,000 people who canceled my health insurance. I'm eligible for Medicare in April, so I'm waiting until that kicks in rather than pay through the nose for health insurance right now.
Ryan says, my health insurance quadrupled in price. Also, hi, G.
Hey, Ryan. Kathy in the 206 says, my husband has used Obamacare. We got lucky and have a zero premium.
And Scott in Redmond says 100% both sides, I think he meant, are to blame. Gee, the healthcare oligarchs fund both parties. Dude, you're wrong on this one, but we love you.
Sure, I'm wrong. Sure. Karen from the Lake Forest Park says, I completely agree with you both regarding the cost of insurance. However, the insurance companies are a racket too. I've always had health insurance, but have asked a provider what their cash price would be versus insurance when I needed an MRI. I was told my cost would be $500 cash, but $1,500 if I were to use my insurance. Since I couldn't hit my deductible anyway, I chose to pay $500 in cash instead of $1,500 out of pocket going towards my deductible.
Now, we have invited Issaquah's police chief to join us. Should officers be allowed to wear Seahawks gear right now as we head into the big game this weekend? Barry in the 253 said full uniform is an uncompromising presence.
253 says, G, society does not have to bow to those offended. Oh, I've learned that.
Christy on Bainbridge says, no, it's not a slippery slope. That's a bit of a stretch.
Allison from Stillicum says, am I the only listener tired of hearing about the Seahawks? Definitely no on law enforcement wearing anything other than their uniforms. It is important for their safety and the community's safety that they are easily recognizable and marked appropriately.
On Looking for Fraud, Kirk in Mount Vernon says, what are they doing in France that we need to be doing in Seattle parks?
Lisa in Sammamish says, I've been in accounting profession for over 20 years, and just because they can't prove there's fraud, it sounds like they can't prove there isn't either.
Very, very true. Chris in Port Orchard says the revolving door of politicians, lobbyists, and private companies is real and disgusting. No accountability for anyone and transparency being fought at every turn.
How in the world does Doug in Mount Vernon make it back in here again? Shorter work week. Doug in Mount Vernon says, corporate America opposing a 4-day work week. This is not good. How are we supposed to fully exploit the workers?
Then we heard from Jim on Orcas Island who said, yeah, it works for the workers, not for the residents.
Okay. and a tough Would You Rather.
That was I took
Yes.
that one. Sorry, I forgot to erase that one. That was our Mike in Portland. Would you rather the Seahawks win?
Oh, we can ask it again.
Yeah, well, would you rather have the Seahawks win on Sunday or guarantee that the Mariners go into the World Series next year? David in the 206 said World Series, hands down. Mike in Edmond says, yes, we can have our cake and eat it too, or eat it too and have our cake. So we want both.
Yeah. Let's see. Bobby in Tacoma says, a nice shout out for the UW Spirit team who won a bronze medal this past weekend down at the UCA College Cheer Nationals. Well, great job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, Ursula, what you got for us on this good old word to live by?
Well, actually, I got a text this morning from one of our listeners, Nancy in Tacoma.
Yeah.
And she let me know that they're staying at the Hotel Andra downtown, and she asked Chef Tom Douglas, who you can hear here on KIRO Radio, to spotlight Lorene Scriven, who is the owner of the wildly successful Wren's Nest Bakery in Tacoma. Wren's Nest Bakery.
Uh-huh.
And so they're taping this morning, and she said, this would be a great words to live by, and I agree. If you see a way to lift someone up and to get their positive gifts out into the world, do it.
It is a good word to live by. Kind of like that one.
Yep.
Before I get to
Lift
Nick,
others up.
Ursula, before I get to Nick, I just want everybody to know.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? Because Flex Friday is tomorrow.
Well, that crept up on us.
I know it has.
Yeah.
And I was really on a roll the last 2 weeks. I'm going to the gym tonight.
You gotta have some material for tomorrow.
Yeah, because Ursula.
Because we have to have video or photo proof. We're gonna ask y'all.
What, I mean, this will be 3 weeks. You're rocking.
Yes.
All right, brother Nick, what you got?
Well, all throughout the week, we've had a buzz for Sunday's game, from discussing field conditions to our favorite players claimed, but we took it to another level with an anthem song from our very good friend Dre's, who had us bobbing our heads strong.
Your boy Dre's in the
MOB.
And I know that JSN and Co are rocking to the beat all the way into the fourth while they hand LA their defeat, because their plate's about to be full dealing with the MOB in the SCA.
Hey, I want to do a shout out to Sean in Des Moines, because he said Doug in Mount Vernon makes it twice in our comments because we agree with Doug. And I will say, Sean, we almost never agree with you, but I want you to know that we often respond to you. And
no, when you say
well, I often respond to you. And I will also say that we appreciate that you're with us every day. Really do, even though, you could have other choices and you choose to listen to us, even though we drive you nuts. Thank you, Sean.
And Sean, you don't drive me nuts. Hey, good stuff, Ursula. Good stuff today.
No, I didn't say we drive him nuts.
Oh, good. Oh, whew. You don't drive anybody nuts.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Thanks, Ursula. We'll do this again.
Thank you.
Hey, Ursula, you gonna get to that gym today?
Oh, yeah. No, Mark and I are going together.
Okay, awesome. Paul? Well, you've been riding your bikes and stuff, man. You be doing that.
Yeah, but I gotta get back. Gotta get in the gym. You gotta take it to that next level. That's step one.
Nick,
I'm gonna get my 5K in today. How about that?
Oh,
run around the neighborhood.
Overachiever. Overachiever. Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Stick around. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
African in Jigba, he's sicker than most. When he run the post, he getting ghosts. When we flex, we don't skip steps, we do the reps. E. Jones told us that's how you build a legacy. Some game from your boy Dre's in the
MOB. 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 You are now entering the dead zone. Welcome to the dark side.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Corporate megastores are spending millions lobbying D.C. politicians